arts that he calls suprematism. For him, pure feeling can only be expressed by pure form. His intention is to reach the degree zero of painting. In Paris, Mondrian is furthering the ideas of the De Style movement. He finishes a book of theory on the new plastic arts.
In this way, through the new spirit, man is himself creating a new kind of beauty. Whereas, in the past, he was merely expressing, through the plastic arts, the beauty of nature. This new beauty has now become indispensable to the new man, for it expresses his own image. The new art is born. Paris, 1920.
The cinema, too, is offering new aesthetic experiences. Hans Richter, an associate of the De Style Group, now takes on the new aesthetic to direct Rhythmus 21, a radical film that upturns the perception of abstract geometry. At the start of the 1920s, there is much infighting among the avant-garde. The Dada movement occupies the high ground. Their indignation about the Great War is overturning all ideological, artistic, and political conventions by means of extravagance and provocation. The surrealists, with their ear for the unconscious and liberated from all ethical concerns, take a similar approach, which will leave little room for the abstract artists, who find themselves more isolated than ever. In the opposite corner to the surrealists and their constant turbulence, the little circle of abstract artists organizes itself around a structured art based on neoplasticism. Sketching, then tracing, geometrical contours onto paper, making penciled notes of the colors to be used in each area. There is no mathematics involved here, only an instinct for balance. Mondrian has at last published his book of theory, which he has dedicated to the people of the future. According to him, the division of the surface is the sole purpose of painting. Any reference to the material world must be banished. He is in search of a universal language capable of expressing that parallel world that is the hidden structure of reality.
Art should never slumber in all that is nice and pretty. The emotion of beauty is always obscured by the appearance of the object. From now on, the object must be eliminated from the painting.
The foundations of Mondrian's art have now been laid. He comes up with a form of structure in horizontal and vertical lines, in which black lines divide the surface up into rectangles of unequal dimensions. Expanses of pure color, which will gradually become more and more rare. Outside the window of his studio, The snow-covered buildings of Paris drive Mondrian back into his solitude. Solitude for him means taking his time to study the world, to meditate on the musical rhythm of the spaces between, or the dynamics of masses. Paris is an inspiration to him, a graphic Paris. When he wanders around the neighborhood on one of his long walks, his gaze is forever examining the surface of things. Where are they heading, these shapes of his? Could they simply be musical notes? Look how all these forces combine so well. All this energy, and all these passing forms. What are they secretly trying to tell us? Vertical, horizontal, diagonal, slowness, speed. What higher forces guide it all, and how to translate all this movement into geometry?
Abstraction is not only to be found in simplification, stylization, refinement. The new spirit seeks to see further. It does not suffice to create harmonious proportions. On the contrary, the entire work must be the plastic expression of forces that confront each other. To allow the vision to appear, the work must efface itself. It must disappear.
Mondrian is searching for a balance between music and painting. Speaking of his works, he often refers to movement, balance, and speed. He wants his painting to be part of a greater whole, full of distortion, syncopation, and dissonance. He divides his time between nightclubs of Paris and his Montparnasse studio, between rhythm and geometry, between social life and solitude, between straight lines and arabesques. Paris has discovered Josephine Baker, the supple, sexy queen of improvisation. Her wild dancing is both fascinating and scandalous. For Mondrian, she is either the total antithesis of his art, or the contrary, a natural extension of it. Perhaps Mondrian is haunting the jazz clubs to compensate for the almost inhuman austerity of his life. He returns home at dawn, always alone, to his studio in the Rue du Départ. His emotional life is a series of failures. His relationships with women never last. Yet at heart, he is a complete innocent, and not without a certain attraction for women. In the end, though, they all find him impenetrable, unknowable. There is, in fact, something of a priest about him. His only feminine company is an artificial flower. This is a man who goes unnoticed. The art world hardly knows he exists. A man whom all the galleries ignore, yet who remains convinced that he is on the right track. One of his regular weekly walks takes him every Wednesday afternoon to his canvas maker. one painting a week, no more, no less.
Il venait régulièrement à la même heure, 5 heures, 5 heures un quart. Il commandait sa toile pour la semaine suivante, un châssis excessivement fort, ce que nous appelons les châssis numéro 1, très large. Et avec la toile très fine, il regardait le mercredi suivant, quand il venait chercher sa commande. C'était sans défaut. Il vérifiait l'équerre du châssis, il regardait bien. Et en ce moment-là, il prenait livraison, on lui emballait, il payait. Et c'est tout. Lui, c'était toujours des mesures irrégulières. Et alors, ce qu'il y a surtout, c'est que c'était vraiment calculé au millimètre.
Mondrian exhibits at the L'Effort Moderne. Gallery owner Léonce Rosenberg promises Mondrian that he will sell 6 canvases. But the exhibition is not a success, and the promise is not kept. Mondrian's work is unsellable. He sees his hopes of recognition evaporate. He is very depressed and talks of completely abandoning painting and becoming a waiter in a cafe. He has not sold a single painting for 2 years. It is at this time that a young Flemish painter and poet called Michel Sofort arrives in Paris. He has come to meet Mondrian, whose work he has seen in magazines, and very soon becomes his closest friend. The two men see each other almost every day at the studio in the Rue du Départ and spend long evenings together at the terrace of the Dôme Café. Sofort writes to one of his friends, "I think Mondrian will be a very good friend. He's a miserable loner too."
C'était un homme extrêmement simple, extraordinairement effacé, et qui vivait dans un endroit qui était son atelier, qui était immédiatement pour moi, c'était le haut lieu de l'art abstrait. C'est devenu pour moi presque immédiatement la chapelle de l'art de notre temps, de l'art nouveau. Mais cette chapelle était plus qu'une cathédrale.
For Mondrian, life and art must be the same thing, and he inhabits his studio as if it were a 3-dimensional installation. He lives in his painting. Inside the studio, everything is minimalist, meticulously signed, impeccably ordered. It is his personal space, where everything hinges on secret balance of forms and colors.
I take decorative inspiration and much else from my studio, where I've been carrying out a few experiments. Since I couldn't paint on the walls, I've had to content myself with hanging up painted cards. Neoplasticism in the studio is as simple as that. Naturally, I've also had to paint the furniture. I don't regret all these efforts. My work greatly benefits from them.
Il était absolument sûr, mais calmement sûr. Sûr comme on est sûr du soleil quand on le voit. Qu'il avait trouvé quoi? Une sorte de fin de l'art, une sorte de solution dernière de toute l'évolution de l'art de tous les temps, par le rythme horizontal-vertical. La construction essentielle, où tout doit aboutir et d'où il fallait repartir.
Reality does not really interest Mondrian. Reality for him means getting down to the basic truth of things and discovering its structure, revealing what has always been there, that he sees and others do not, in solitude